Good morning, what's happening? Mic is on. Slow start, had some cat shenanigans. Bit of a headache. Things going on. Doing good though. I wasn't really feeling very good yesterday, and I was just kind of going through messages and stuff. So I didn't end up streaming in the PM, but did get a nice list of things to look at. Didn't quite organize it into an order of how I want to look. These guys first, definitely. I think that after that, and then this, and then that. Something like this. And let's start with this one actually. And then these are maybes. Looked like someone was typing messages, but no. Okay. So, I want to check world preview. Some people said the world preview is not working as intended. And we are on production build. Not beta, should be good. So we go to make a new world. And yeah, what's that about? Huh. When did that start up? Not even an error, it's just not doing anything. I sure don't remember messing with this. That would be the distance camera here. No, not the distance camera. It's the preview camera. Actually, I don't see where that is. World creation, preview. Looks like everything is there. The render texture is there. Where is the camera? Preview camera. Almost looks like there is no preview camera. And some players were saying this is just black. Where's this guy? Where's the preview camera? Preview camera, there he is. It's turned off. Avatar. Dynamic character avatar. Preview camera. I don't think he's supposed to be down there. What happens if I turn this on? There, works. Why is he under this avatar? That got messed up somehow. He just got dragged under that accidentally at some point, I think, is all that happened. What's up, Stopnut? How you doing? Oh, who else we got? Luna Puppy, what's happening? I wasn't watching multi-stream chat there, sorry. Be nice, kitties. What are you doing? Good morning, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Moved it off of Avatar. That should fix it, honestly. He's just trying to walk by you. It's not a big deal. There it goes. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. 457. Preview camera. Avatar transform.find preview camera. Why did I move that underneath this avatar with a dynamic character avatar and stuff on it? That's weird. Almost looks intentional, but I can't imagine why that would be. Avatar creation UI, cam avatar. I guess I just got mixed up in thinking that the preview camera was the character creation preview camera, which it is not. Camera main transform, yeah, that's just gonna move the main camera. Hey, Dumb Films. Hey, Colm69. I did watch the first, 5 episodes of The Boys. I don't think I finished season 1, though. That's the superhero show, right? Yeah, I don't know why that's there. Preview camera is just, we should just make that, honestly, serialized field. And then I don't need to be searching for it. And it does get turned on and off down here, which is good. I do create some of my own assets. I don't create most of my own assets, though. I pay for some custom, and I buy quite a few off of the asset store. Because it would take months and months to make all of the stuff that I use. Would be cool if I had a lot of money to pay someone to make everything original, but fortunately I do not. Yeah. There's the girl that it kind of follows at the start, that she's the new superhero, and she's not yet corrupt, but all the top, they're corporate lapdogs, kind of running drugs and doing weird stuff, interfering with politics. It's an interesting twist on superheroes, definitely. I need to drag the camera into what we just marked for serialization there. And I don't think that avatar is getting used anywhere. We'll take a look at it. Still 357. That's just straight up the normal avatar, I guess? I'm confused. Set active false. Okay. I don't know how those two got intertwined in some patch down the road here. So if I go to create, yeah, she still works fine. Okay. And I don't remember why it goes back to night. That was unintentional. But then world preview is now working as intended. See, I don't know where I got those two thinking that they needed to be working together. That's weird. But All's well that ends well. I do kind of, let's see, when we come back from, there is a first person view. You can just scroll all the way in and it'll switch to first person view, or you can hit the tilde key and it'll switch right into it. Let's see, this is a giant ugly script. Characters. Create new character. Worlds. Oh, I got supposed to take one of these. Look at avatar, look at start. That's not where I'm setting up Enviro, is it? Set internal time of day. Here. Return to start. I don't know why that's set to 11. 00011. Let's just double check. Wait for it to compile. Yeah, see how it moved that? Sometimes it does these little catches of the mouse while it's stuck compiling, and I must have just clicked the preview camera onto the avatar accidentally somewhere. So if I go to create, the sun right now is shining diagonally like this up there, and now it's gone way over there, and if I go back, now it's shining over here. Doesn't really matter, but how about we just move it back to where it was. Instance transform Euler. I think. Well, let's see. What is the time of day right now? $13. I don't. And then we'll move it back to 0. Okay. Totally unimportant, but there we go. Okay, world preview is now fixed. Let's add that to stuff we did yesterday. Fixed world preview. Notch. What else we got? Buildings pre-made in caves not working. Oh, really? Did that? How do I see myself live? Yeah, that's funny. That dumb films guy just came in to ask about the boys and took off. It was kind of weird. Anyway, where can we find a cave? Probably weren't far from one out there actually, but let's take a peek at the map. Lots of caves to visit. I'm just going to and let's write that down. Shadow distance settings. I want to turn this back down to medium. And I want to run to the east. With my speed hacks. Sorry for cheating. There's a lot of big rocks out here. If this still does not work, it's no doubt going to be a collision problem where it's just not understanding that it's okay to place something down on the cave floor. So let's just come inside. Reported. What did you report, Luna? Load. Let's see, I need stone. You reporting me for cheating? I'm gonna cheat again, sorry. Goes green and throws an error. I know, I'm a terrible person, I'm sorry. Player building 132. 1362. Debug log. Well, that's not nice. Why is there some outdated debug in there? Update structure, add to area spawn. It looks like it did not spawn it though, correct? Town person house. Well, it tried to. It did spawn it, but not where it should be. Let's see. If it's terrain, you do that. If it's cave, collision.parent.find structures. Spawn positioned. It's acting like it didn't find that. And it wouldn't because, did we go to the parent? Collision.parent.find. Yeah, these are in chunks. That's the actual. So you need to go parent. Because this is what it's actually colliding with. I don't want to run back out to this cave though, so let's save where I am. And I can actually do save and return to the main menu, and it'll throw me... No, that's not what I want. Just kidding. I need it to recompile. Hi, kitty. What are you doing? Come and say hi. Come and say hi. Ah. Hey, kitty. What are you doing? I gotta sit up here. And some weird neck pain going on yesterday and today. I think I got like a sort of a head cold or something going on. Let's see. I want to do load actually. Don't I have anything smaller, like a staircase? There we go. Bing, 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 bing. Did it still build it? Super. Where did it go? It did build it, but way too high. Let's see. Structure placement height -3. How did that translate so poorly? So I think this is correct. It's just way too high up for some reason. Like way too high up. And I went too far. Or is it? Is that where I put it? It's not quite where I'm looking, is it? I don't think that is where I put it. So when we call this from here, we're sending the actual position of the dummy structure that we saw in green, which is now point. Spawn point equals point. Spawn point equals collision dot parent dot parent. There we go. Parent dot parent. Yeah. Inverse transform point. Do I actually need that? I don't think I do. Why? Spawn point. Is this gonna set local structure? Structure local position. It is, okay. Well, that probably explains it. Parent, parent, inverse transform point, point. Let's give that a try. Hey, Katie. It always double posts whatever you post. That's weird. Yeah. Tubby does not leave Pearl's side there. He's even got a foot to keep him in place. You stay here. Yeah, he just follows him around. So basically, this converts the position from a world position to a local position based on the master cave position, so that it's weighing it against the position of the cave itself. And there we go. That is fixed. Let's pause and write that down, and let's open up the bug tracker. I'm not sure if somebody has reported that on here or not. Make sure we log in. Did I just click sign up? I did. Log in. I don't know why it can't just remember me. That would be nice. Cookies, 2021. Too much to ask for. Fixed world preview, fixed building, fixed loading pre-made structures in caves not working. Let's put on our Blu-ray goggles. Are these kind of dirty? These are kind of dirty. Doesn't look like that was reported on here. Just something I spotted on the Steam discussion boards. So we'll move on to the next step. I just forget if I looked at this or not. Had a player say there was a pickup button on a monolith that he cleared, and of course trying to pick it up did not work, and threw an error. And I'm gonna just double check that staircase, make sure it's still there. It's not still there, is it? Well, good thing I double checked, huh? So we're not done here actually. Building data holder, yeah, that's not acceptable. That's only going to be applicable if we are doing like this. Otherwise, and really it should only be possible. And this is actually no longer cave layer, this is world encounter layer. I've just yet to rename it. Because I'm kind of scared to. And I'm not gonna. Let's see. I think that this is chunk manager, get terrain, save file. Yeah, the sun is out today. It's not total blue skies. I hope it stays out because it was really cold yesterday after the sun went behind the clouds. We'll see if squawking at the birds outside. Wonder if you guys can hear that at all. Let's see. Global methods, get section XC, no, what do we want? Get chunk. Yeah. We want to do this based on get current manager. We already called it here. Hasn't been spawned yet though. This actually is not acceptable either. We need to, I think it's in player building here. We need to add it to the delayed structure update. If not underground, else get current manager. Yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. Cool. Kudos to whoever wrote that. I'm just gonna copy these and block them out just in case we want to look at them again. But in either case, we want to do delayed structure update, which needs, it's going to be false, and we haven't actually grabbed the structure itself. And that's always kind of a pickle. This is what? Say my neck hurts. This is in. Good lord, this is an update. Yeah. We don't want that one. We don't want that one. Let me look at this one. Structure has been gained. No, that's not going to help us either. Shoot. Gonna have to do it somehow new. So this guy isn't doing it himself, correct? Fixed structure rotation, spawn, no. I'm gonna have to the problem is this here, fixed structure rotation. Structure, fixed structure equals, so we're feeding in the original structure. I'm probably just gonna have to try this and see how it goes. In the event of a building needing to be rotated, it has to create a second structure, rotate everything, and then delete the original using a destroy, but this destroy is not instant. It takes a second. I could do destroy immediate. Is there any reason to not do that? Let's give it a try and see how it plays out. So first thing I need to do is grab what I'm thinking of here is when this one spawns the second structure, fixed structure rotation method, it sets the parent to the same parent, which means it's going to be lower on the hierarchy than the original. So in all cases, we should be able to just grab the newest child. And we've already got the structure parent. I kind of like doing this actually. Yeah, we'll just leave that alone. So let's say we grab structure parent. Structure parent dot parent. Now this is either the, no, actually, yeah, we want the structure parent. And we want to get child, and we want to get the last child. So structure parents child count -1, because that doesn't include 0. And let's do dot get component. Whoa, what happened? I just pushed a whole bunch of things at once somehow. I think we're okay. Get component, structure. And let's go ahead and break that into some steps. Nah. What's the matter? And in this case, honestly, we don't need to do the delayed structure update anymore. But still, what's the matter? Well, come up and see me then. What are you doing? Hi. You want some camera time again? Pee-pee's totally scared of Yume on his left there. She's gonna punch you. Update storage capacity. That's not what we want. I guess I'm just gonna grab these, and we should be good to just do this, honestly. So, in any case, this is a server operation. We are on the server, and we're gonna take structure. No, yeah, if we're on above ground, structure transformed up position, building data holder update structure, that's fine. Client managers, terrain manager, world encounter master, get current manager. Yeah, I think that should all be working as intended. And I'll double check below and above ground just to make sure everything worked as expected. Did you let you sit kind of nearby her there, BB? Got you may just right there, so. Nemesis. So, build, load, my structures, staircase, boom. I'm going to put one down here, and I'm going to leave. I'm going to put one above ground, and then I'm going to check on both. Make sure I didn't break something. That looks good. And let's see. It actually is not going to despawn that guy while I'm down here in single player. So I'm going to need... Whoops. Just went out and back in. I'm going to need to teleport away and back. Let's put a Solace down. and go home. What are we at? Ooh, we're at the bottom of the list. Let's go ahead and name this guy Cave Entrance. That might be useful someday. I'm going to go back to the start, and I want to wait until some of these areas unpopulate themselves. Let's see, it'll load the new terrains first. And it'll clear all that out. There we go. So now the staircase has been deleted. We just want to double check that it does get reloaded properly. And it looks like it did. So, we can call that good and move on. Can pick up monolith. Forget if I looked at that. There should be a monolith always nearby. Just on the other side of the cave, it looks like. Northeast a little bit. Northwest a little, actually, I think it was. So I'm just gonna... These guys can't hurt me. I'm gonna just see if I can interact with it right away. And I can, but it doesn't actually do anything if I do. And I'll finish off the guards. And now, yeah, there's no pickup button here. So I'm pretty sure I fixed that and just don't remember that I did. So I'm just gonna mark that off. Let's see, free placement wall triangle error exception. Shadow distance setting, charge not stunning. You being nice, kitties? I need to start putting my coffee in a thermos or something. I swear 90% of it I drink cold. So we can test this wherever. First test. Building a wall triangle in free mode. Warning, an error exception. And it built it wrong there. This stuff is a little bit tricky. Let's see. Not sure even if it will open that up properly for me. Close you. We'll be back to you later, but I'm going to close you for now. I'm going to close you. We'll need to be getting into that later. That's probably PM work, though. Whoops, go ahead and pause. I double-clicked on you. Did you notice that? You don't want to show me, though, do you? Nope. Alright, call command, construct free building. So I need to open player building back up. Command, construct free building. Now then, let's take a look at this. Structure, grabs the structure, grabs the recipe. No, this is not the right one. Construct free building. Grabs the structure, gets the building prefab. Let's just add some debugs to make sure we know where we are. Set up the building. If it's a Solace, blah blah blah. It's not. If it's a Solace, if it's an obelisk, if we're in a world encounter, we're not. This is all update structure stuff. Spawn building resources. What? Remove resources spent. Yeah, spend building resources. Update the nav mesh. Further the quest if we need to. So it's most likely something right up here. Structure equals get component structure. We made it this far. Get component structure. Network identity spawned. I believe that is correct. Let's do a 0 and a 1 and a 2. Set up the building. Building object, get component. Is there a tutorial for towns? There is. It doesn't unlock immediately. If you finish the basics tutorial, it'll unlock new tutorials. So I'm not quite sure off the top of my head when that one shows up. Let's make this big so I can see what that stuff says. That's just a Unity error, that's not a problem. Press tab and equip a stone club after crafting one. Masonry tools, stone, oh no, it's weapon. Stone club, craft, equip. Basics completed, gather 8 stone. I don't mind going through these because I haven't in a long time. What's the matter? It's always nice to double check that something hasn't broken. There's some stone. What's the matter, BB? What are you doing? Are you rolling in the dirt? Gather some stone, craft a sledgehammer. Equip it. Harvesting, quarrying skills. Strong hit, upgrade it. Drag it onto the hotbar. And use it on a stone node. Let's see if we can find another one. Oh, I need to level it up. Shoot. What's my harvesting at? Tier 1. That's not bad. Let's recall. I can teleport out to anywhere. Oh, swamp. Gross. Send me to the mountains. And give me a rock. There's some ore. There's a bear and a boar. They didn't level me up? Come on. There we go. Open up the map, close the map, open up the journal, close the journal. Okay, so that gave me a whole new set of tutorials for doing that. As you can see here, that did not give me the town tutorial though. Let me double check and see what it is. Yeah, I think it's a really, it's a good start. It's just a bummer that I don't have $1 million. If I had a team of 5 people working on this, we could really turn it into something, just more that it is. It's not bad. I think that the idea is really cool. I think that's under quests. So, simple recipes adds enchanting. Harvesting adds adventure skills. Building adds solace renaming. Farming, terraforming. Oh, it looks like I turned that off. I'm sorry. Yeah, towns have undergone so many changes that's actually currently disabled. We should turn that back on. Yeah, we don't have auras anymore, and some of this is, I just would have to rewrite this stuff is all, and set up some triggers. Let me write that down. Town tutorials. Because that should all just unlock right away after you finish the basics quests. Basically though, yeah, I'm hoping version 1.0 will get me a good, at least like 250,000 or something over a few months, and then I can at least hire on 1 or 2 people, hopefully, if I could just get a programmer so that I could focus on design and like math and stuff more than I do, that would be awesome. And somebody that knows how to optimize the game. I need to probably get into that next week again. What were you having problems with town building though? Because it's pretty much just plop down a building. I'll go out to that cave entrance that I built. Solaces can't be within 250 kilometers of another Solace. So the fact that it let me build this one here tells me that I can go ahead and start a town here. So I just hit T, and T brings up the town interface. And these are like town ranks as you go down. Start out as there's no town here. Next would be an outpost, and then a hamlet. It goes into village, town, city. So to start a town, you have to build a storehouse. Every the buildings that have this up arrow next to them, that's what upgrades to the next. But like this, the trader requires 2 rank 1 harvesters. So if I build, I'm gonna cheat again. I'm sorry. I'm a cheater. And there's trees all over here. I really could have just chopped some of those down, but so I just clicked, make sure I've got enough timber, clicked construct, And I can move this around. And if I hold down the right mouse button, no, that's not working. Oh, I messed that up somewhere. That's not good. I'm pretty sure I know where I messed that up too. What was I doing? I was messing with input fields. Yeah, but anyway. You see, I can't build it here because I'm not within power range of my Solace, which you can check under upgrades. The current power is at level 0, and I can actually toggle that like this to see. I think I can do it in here too, show power. That'll show me how far away I can build town buildings. And if you've got light, you can go ahead and just upgrade that, and you'll find that that immediately increases that range. And if you want to upgrade that more, you have to upgrade the Solace level, which is going to spawn an attack. But it's not a big deal if you're able to hold your own where you are. I'm just going to change it to morning. So you have to be near the Solace, within power range of the Solace, and then just hit space. And now I've got a storehouse. Sorry, my throat's all raspy. And yeah, that's just the start of it. Now I have a storehouse, so I can start building outpost buildings. Like, say I build a logger. Well, I don't want him to be underground. Put him like right here. This dude is now going to, let's see, it's 9:35 right now. So every hour he's going to add stuff into the storehouse. So if we wait for 10 o'clock to roll by, and this is biome based, so he's going to have a hourly harvest of 10 because grass has a lot of trees in it. And there we go. Oh, it says 0. Yeah, somebody reported this. Okay, well, that's why we need to look at this today. That's weird. Where did all these bugs show up? I didn't change any of this stuff. That's weird. He knows what he's doing. He's harvesting timber. Storehouse is here. But he didn't... Storage, deposit, storage. It's got nothing in it. These buttons aren't working either. Upgrade, storage. No, these buttons are working fine. Okay, well, let's save this. Back out. What was I going to look at? I was looking at building pieces, but hold on a second. That's not, yeah, we'll add those in there to look at that in a second. But why is he not sending stuff properly? This happens, it starts at the time manager, and whenever a new hour rolls by, we move time forward for all gatherers. For example, our logger. He knew he was supposed to get timber. He added 0 timber for some reason. Storage remaining. That might have been what it was. Did the storage not realize that it had 100 storages? Yeah, that's what somebody said. They had to pick up their box and put it back down again before the storehouse recognized that it had any storage. I'm going to get into this after lunch. I wanted to kind of clear. Yeah, current storage 0, 0. So the current workaround, it looks like, is to pick up your crate and put it back down, and then the storehouse updates properly to show 100. And if we waited till 11, I'm gonna cheat. And I moved it immediately to 11, and we'll find now that there's 10 in there. So I just need to fix the, when you spawn a new storehouse, that initial crate isn't loading properly for some reason, or it's not registering properly. But I'll fix that in a minute. And that's kind of the basics of the town stuff, is that the gatherers can gather resources for you automatically, and then when you get to a hamlet, there's armorsmith, Fletcher and stuff, and these guys can actually teach you new recipes, how to craft better stuff. So they're kind of important, and we're going to be adding a lot more recipes to them over the next month or two. But anyway, that's kind of still very much a work in progress, the town stuff. So I'm going to head back to, I was looking at trying to build these triangles. And for anybody that maybe didn't know, you can't select buildings that have been placed in free mode because they're not connected to the grid. They're just plopped in there. The way to get rid of them is using the general skill deconstruct. That's kind of, there's no upgrade for that, and I should fix that. But if you turn that on and you click, you can deconstruct stuff, individually like that, and just hit escape to clear it. But anyway, I'll put that back and switch to free mode. I want to build a wall wooden triangle. And I was actually trying to do it over there. Where did it go? Wood triangle is not. If I change position, it gets confused. That's interesting. I'll have to look at that too. But in any case, made it past 2 on our console, and still got an error though. Get component building. So surely the triangle isn't missing a building script for some weird reason. No, he's got it. Building object. Get component building. Set him up. It's not a Solace. It's not an obelisk. We're not in a world encounter. So we are going to try and call this. Oh, this is backwards, isn't it? If the client is not currently in a world encounter, that's a problem. I think that is the only big problem right there. We also want to look at the rotation. We'll go ahead and reload that. Make sure that that is what we were fixing. I'm pretty sure it was. Sounds like America's getting a little weird. Go back to the start, and I don't really even have to do that. Let's say I want to build some foundations, and I want to build a east wooden triangle in free mode. Oh, that worked fine. Okay, now I want to go west, and that breaks the dummy. Are you sure that's west? That doesn't look like west. That looks like south. I said west. So these kind of directions don't seem to be... You almost would expect it to ignore that and instead use the rotation, but if the rotation works properly, which it looks like it does. Look, it's art. It's kind of cool, actually. That looks fine. I think the dummy was not correct in some certain instances, though. Like, it started out, I was looking at something like this, switch to free mode, and then it put it here. See, so the dummy didn't update properly there. I would like to fix that. It's not a huge deal, but you know, if I reselected it, it would update, but it should just be needing to call update when I switch to free mode once more or something like that. So this is working. We'll get rid of these debugs that we added just to be sure. Close that. That's going to be under building UI selection. So let's say I have clicked free mode. I'm not actually sure where that is. That's probably what's underneath selection. Above positioning, not recipes, not resources, building UI mode. Let's see. Build mode locked, build mode free. Free mode enabled equals true. Hi, kitty. If the building dummy does not equal to null, move it, but I want to do a update dummy call here, which I'm not sure where that is. Building UI, I think that's positioning. center arrow clicked. No, where is that? Selection. Where is dummy? Update. Button click, update dummy. It's in selection, okay. I think that is all that I need to do. And I probably don't have a direct reference to that in here, but I can go, let's say, player script controller.client dot player interface building UI dot what selection. How do I get there? Building data. Shows what I know. Building data dot selection dot update dummy. Yeah, I think that will fix that. It just ignores northeast southwest in free mode and always use, I believe, south. And then you just rotate from there. So I'm going to do north, wood triangle, switch to free mode, and then it moves it here properly. Okay. I like that better. Ooh, it's e-fighting. Never fun. And I'm not going to save that stuff, but that should be working good. Now, he was saying there is a obstruction problem with wood roof 1 and those wall triangles not lining up properly. So I wanted to test that too. Let's go back to the start to do that. There's actually a nice big building here, which already has some triangles, but nice tables and candles, shelves. I don't think these are the walls that the dude is talking about. And honestly, can we repair these roofs so that they work, or what? I mean, what kind of a roof is this? Come on now. Big hole in it. What is this? Wood roof thatch. Okay, I'm going to look at that in a second. For now, what I want to do is grab the roof, and he was saying wood roof 1. Is that the same thing? No. These are the roofs that wood roof 2. That's not updating either. Need to work on that too. Wood roof thatch. Why is it just called one? Would be nicer if that actually said wood roof thatch like the rest of them. Wood roof corner. Need to organize these better somehow. So he was saying wood roof 1, which is these guys, was not connecting with the triangle properly. That one worked. Might have been only the other side. Let's try them both. And it might only be in a certain, position as well. We'll have to try and see. That worked. Shoot. If I go over here, that worked. That worked. Alright, I take it back. Let's go outside. I want to deconstruct that. I better go double check, see what he was talking about. I got some new messages. Let's see. Might have been in here. Nope. Shoot. Let's do a search. For roof. I think triangle might be better actually. Triangle placement, there it is. Wood roof 1 to fill the triangle hole between the roof and the wall. It happens when using a roof. It does sound like he's building the triangle though. So let's build a bunch of roofs. Wood roof 1. And these do make physics checks, is kind of the whole thing. Let's do, in fact, a couple layers here. Something like this. And we will add some walls to this end. And we better add some to this end as well. And we'll go inside. And I'm going to save at this point. Actually auto-saved for me there. And let's see if we can build some triangles. Oh, am I building walls now? That's no good. Triangle. Triangle. Seems to be working fine for me. There is a gap between those triangles. That's not nice. Wood triangle 2. I have successfully walled myself in. Kind of don't know what to tell you. Gonna have to just say it's not a hotkey. It's the skill deconstruct under general skills that will let you click to deconstruct like so.ピピちゃんやっちゃった。まあわかんないけど。Kind of nothing I can really do if I can't replicate it. Of course, this is 2 months ago. Sorry, dude. Trying to replicate this, and actually, you know what? I turned off some building obstruction stuff, didn't I? I don't remember where I did that. Let's try and look at that. I mean, yeah, you move it down to the hotbar, and then you've got a button for it. But more cats are always welcome, by the way. They might not get along, but I will like them. What was I going to look at? Obstruction checks. Who actually makes the obstruction check? It was at the bottom of one of these. Not selection. Perhaps positioning. Attempt move, check for interference. Are you still being used, sir? You are not. See, that's the thing. I actually stopped using this, so I think that was in like November that I did that. So this actually is not a thing anymore. So let's move on. I could mess with these silly roofs and these triangles leaving gaps too. But yeah, not right now. Yay, Bella has become a Patreon supporter. Thank you so much, Bella. That is a big help. Shadow distance settings. Let's go ahead and do this. We were just messing with that yesterday. Settings UI. I'm going to close you guys up. Open up the settings UI because we've got these nice methods for adding Float input. And I could expand on these. It'd be nice if there was a slider, you know. But I'll just add this in for now. And we need to set up a few things in order to do that. Let's look at shadow. I don't believe I've ever made a shadow slider. Shadow resolution. Okay, so what's that gonna take actually? Shadow distance. Let's see, render settings dot shadow, nope. Quality settings dot shadow distance. That's easy. Shadow drawing distance equals whatever. So we're gonna want to do one of these. Crosshair transparency, shadow distance, button type. We're going to want to grab, actually let's copy one of our current dealies. I just added one of these yesterday. What was it? Crosshair transparency. Where are you? Down here. Basically want to copy most of this. So this is now going to be shadow distance. If it ends with a period or it is equal to 0. No, I don't. It can equal 0. I think for whatever reason I've limited that from going all the way to 0. Float min. By default it's going to be that, but I can change that. Okay, that's good. So shadow distance, if it ends with a period, I don't know. I'm not sure what that would do. We'll try that. We'll call this distance, and we can actually do that with a little rename. Distance equals 10, try parse, shadow distance, out distance, distance equals clamp. 0 to what, 100 meters? Why would you turn your shadows up to 100? That's long. Image, nope, we don't want that. We don't want this stuff anymore. Input fields, shadow distance dot text equals distance string. Game settings, we need one of you. Let's put it under, hi kitty. Put it under shadow quality. What are you doing? Good kitties. Yeah, I could fix Woodroof 1, probably. I mean, it'd be a hack. You know, I'd just be stretching it like dough, because I'm not good at, you know, you've tried it in Blender. I could open it in Blender and do it like I should, but that would take me hours because I'm terrible at it. I might be able to stretch it. Get it to work better than it does right now. Shadow quality is not being saved. Really? Oh no, this isn't where it gets saved, sorry. Save, settings, data holder. We need one in here as well. Shadows. Well, yeah, there's no shadow quality in here. I might want to add that too. For now, we're going to do public float shadow distance equals 15 by default. And let's go find all the references to shadows where we want to add that down beneath it. Shadow distance equals game settings dot shadow distance, or in the event of loading, shadow distance equals sdh dot shadow distance, like so. And that's good for you. In the setting UI, we will be opening up that later. Quality settings shadow distance equals distance, and game settings shadow distance equals, whoops, shadow distance equals distance. Yeah. Do you think I should work on those? It wouldn't take long, like I say, it'd just be stretching it out a little bit. Yeah, it would only take 5 minutes. I'll look at it here in a second. Let's try to get this working first. Shadow distance, that's fine. Need to update this. Video settings, scroll rect, shadow distance, button type, shadow distance, 0 to 100. Well, the vertices aren't aware of one another, unfortunately. They just need to be aligned properly in their 3x3x3 cubic area. What is that? You mean stuff that's going on in the States, or is that a TV show that I don't know about? We also want to add, ideally in the update somewhere here. Crosshair transparency, I just straight called it right there, huh? How is that acceptable? Yeah, I've got my buddies telling me that they've stormed the Washington governor's mansion as well. So stuff's getting weirder. My biggest problem right now is that my cat is licking the Amazon tape on one of our open boxes. Inside the U.S. Capitol, man, that is just silly. That's terrible. What's up, Shark? I'm adding a shadow distance video settings option. I've actually had 3 or 4 different families contact me last year asking about emigrating to Japan, like semi-seriously, like, was it hard for you? Like, people are kind of scared of the States right now. It's hopefully be a lot better here in a few weeks, right? Hey, kitty. I don't believe I understand entirely why this is acceptable to call without actually specifically setting it once. For example, yeah, that's what we're doing here. Just want to do the same thing here. Input fields, button types dot crosshair transparency dot text equals game settings dot crosshair transparency dot to string, like that. And now we're going to want to do that again with shadow distance dot text equals shadow distance to string. Take it easy, Art. Yeah, and then we can just call shadow distance on load. And I believe that will work. We set it up to save and load as well properly. And I want to peek at it. Looked like didn't really have shadow quality settings, even though there were like remnants of those settings. When I push the mic up here in my face like this, it makes me sit up straight. Which I need to do more. So settings, video. Where can we test this nicely? Let's see. Yeah, see, it's only at 15 right now because I set that as the current default. We scroll down to the bottom of the video settings. We've now got shadow distance. And yeah, that looks like it's working just fine. Up to 100. I guess some people might want that bigger. 100's pretty far, but I'll go ahead and set it up to 150 max, I guess. No. We can turn them on and off too, but we didn't add quality. Option, what is that? Let's see, project settings, player, I believe, or is it quality? And they totally got rid of this whole thing. I really should re-implement this somehow. I bet some people are kind of hurting if they're not able to run in fast mode anymore, because you can't select that like you used to be able to. Anyway, shadow mode, hard and soft shadows. And we can change that to hard only. That actually speeds it up quite a bit. See how these get nice and blurred? That actually takes more processing power. There's also shadow resolution, which should certainly be an option. So let's go ahead and add these as well. Texture quality, full res, quarter res, half res. Yeah, we really should add all of these in there for people to mess with if they need to. Alright, what do we want? Let's see. Shadow types. Shadow resolution. And we also want to do texture quality. I know some people's computers, my computer honestly doesn't have the greatest time with Solace Crafting either. I'm sad to admit. Did I just change something and not change it back without looking at it? Hard and soft, shadow distance, 150. Oh, it's set to fast as default? Really? Hmm. I don't know what this is either. Skin weights. Particle raycast budget. 16. No, but I was testing, that's not using raycast. I was thinking of snow and rain coming through buildings, but that's not it. We might, I don't really know what that is, unfortunately. And we've also got, shadow cascades. I don't actually know what that is either. Let's look that up. Learn something. Unity shadow cascades. Unity splits. Shadows have some problem called perspective aliasing, where real-time shadows from directional lights appear pixelated when they are near the camera. Shadow cascades only work with directional lights. Directional light typically simulates sunlight. Shadow map covers a large portion of the scene. This is true. Problem called perspective aliasing compared to those far away. How shadow cascading works: when it's closer, it improves the quality, basically. Okay. So let's make that an option as well. Shadow cascades. Options are important. So let's see. We just need to do what we just did. And we'll make this fancier in the future. But for now, let's see. Float input. Shadow types. Yeah, that's not going to be enough, is it? Shadow resolution. I'm going to have to do these custom. But this is kind of important. I don't really think I can set up a method to set this up in runtime. I mean, of course I can. Let's think about that for a second. Say, what are we doing? We're switching between 3 different settings using a left and right arrow. So we could spawn a prefab, grab the left and right arrow, set their action delegates to specific methods, and save the text label yeah. Let's go ahead and try that, because that'll be useful in the future. And I think these are all toggles. That's a toggle, that's a shadow resolution, yeah. That's hard and soft, right? Or was that a different thing? Shadow resolution, low, medium, high, very high. Okay, so that's a toggle too. And cascades 2 or 4. So these are all toggles. Texture quality is also a toggle, yeah. So we will probably benefit from setting this up right now. So let's do add. Do we want to call it toggle? It's not really a single toggle. Add switch, maybe call it. We want to give it a scroll rect, a row count, a title, button type. Let's see. This is going to want to be left button type. And we're going to want left function. And then we're going to want a right button type. And a right function. And we don't need these guys. What do we need? Do we need to... no, yeah, I think that's all we need. So we're going to have to make a new prefab called settings row switch. Why did I move to Japan? That's a bit of a complicated question, but I really like, for one, it's really safe over here. It's in one of the safest countries in Japan, and I grew up in Seattle, which is, one of the safer cities in America. And I grew up in North Seattle, which is, safer even part of Seattle. But still, you can hear gunshots all the time, and I know people that were held at gunpoint. I know people that have been mugged, people that have been had knives pointed at them, and, that's kind of one of the main reasons for me, is that Japan is just super, super safe. And I'm terribly attracted to Japanese women, and I love Japanese food, and I really like how polite Japanese culture is. That really fits well with me. So it's just kind of all in general, I really fit in a lot better over here. And it's really hard living away from your parents and your family and your friends. And of course I have family, my wife's family, and my own friends over here and stuff as well. And I stay in touch with all of my high school and college buddies online pretty much every day. But it's rough not being able to see your mom and dad and sister and niece and all of them. Okay, this was actually doing that right here. Interesting. So I didn't need that. I missed this. Shadow distance. But let's go ahead and get rid of that, actually, because I added that right here. And that's just a little cleaner, I think. Easier to understand. Easter eggs. Not really. Not yet. I have some planned. Whoa. There's like gale winds going on outside all of a sudden. What is this? That was weird. There's a construction site just 100 meters to the west of me. So that was just a huge dust cloud. My car is perpetually dirty ever since they've started construction. They're building a huge bridge. They've been building it for like 4 years. It's this massive bypass it's right next to my neighbor's house. It's not finished yet though, so there's no traffic, but we need to move away. Hopefully this year, to be honest. So I'm not doing this. So did I do settings? Yeah, I did that. Settings row switch. We're going to need to make a prefab for you. And I'm going to grab it. And we're going to set it to whatever scroll rect we're working with. Move it down. Set the title. And we're not going to be using input fields this time. Let's see. We're going to want to grab image, left image equals, and we'll go ahead and call it that, left image, get component image, and we're going to want a right one as well. And left image, this is going to be on click. Uh-oh. Is it, what do we have to do to get that to work? I could make them buttons, but I don't really want to. Do we want to use the mono behavior? Which I'm pretty sure an image is not. Maskable graphic, UI behavior, it is a mono behavior. Can we do left image dot mono behavior? Left, no, it should inherit all of those. There's no click though, huh? Could just make them buttons. If they were buttons, then we would get on click. These are also buttons, huh? I thought I could get one of these even just from the images. Maybe if I add an event, we'll just make them buttons. It's not a big deal. On pointer down, let's say. We'll do on pointer click. Dot add listener. Nope. Is it on click we have to do? Dot add listener, and we want to do left funct. And we'll go ahead and change this to button. And we'll change you to button as well. Button. We'll add right button. It's now going to use right function. And this is kind of some fancy C# I don't really get into fancy C sharp very much, but we're adding delegates using an action, which is basically just a method like we did earlier with shadow distance. Man, I feel for you, Legendary Shark. My animations are crap, and people tell me that all the time. I see people post really cool animated fighting characters all the time, and I need to really get into that one of these days and make it better. But honestly, that is that's a luxury. That's visuals. If you're just getting started, you gotta get gameplay going first. Gameplay's most important, so even if your dude's just floating around in a T-pose, get it to the point where you can actually hit a monster, and you can kill a monster, and you can loot a monster, or, whatever it is that the game is actually asking of the player, because the animations and the graphics are really just to try and make that more interesting by visual quality. If you don't have the gameplay, you don't have a game. Definitely got to get that stuff working first. This will update the row, and then I'm gonna not do input fields, but I'm gonna do, this is gonna be just text, and I'm gonna call it switches. Whoops, text. So switches dot add do we want to just base it off of the left button type, maybe? That's fair. Left button type, and we haven't actually grabbed the get component text, RT-find. Let's see, we want to do text, switch text equals RT-find switch dot get component text, and we will add our switch text here. So you'll see what I'm talking about once I go and I make the prefab here. Kitty, oh yeah? Come and see me. What are you doing? Hi. Who's the pretty kitty? So I'm gonna go, I've already got, I don't think they're in here. I think they're up here. UI, yeah. So I'm gonna just duplicate one of these, and this is gonna be our switch prefab. Do you have combat set up, Shark? And maybe harvesting is more important than combat, depending on what your goals are. But that's really similar to combat. You're basically combating with a resource. You want to go up and you want to hit a resource, and then have it put something in your inventory. So if you go that route, you need to have that sort of harvesting attack system and an inventory system set up. If you go combat first, then you need to have monsters, and you do it in steps, so you don't have, maybe they just stand there at first, and just make sure you can hit them. But then you want to have them to take damage and eventually get some simple AI set up for them. So it's kind of, which one do you want to set up first? I'm not sitting up the best today, but sitting up better. Really bad neck pain this morning and yesterday for some reason. So I'm going to open this guy up, and he's going to look like this currently. And we're not going to be using the input field. So what we're going to do is we're going to have switch, and this guy is going to be in the middle, something like that. We want his text to be centered. Let's do -55 just to get a nice even number. The clouds have come out. No. Combat system with collisions, struggle with animation. I think it's focus on resource harvesting, but the inventory I'm confused on. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots of solutions, definitely. And I've never used any of those. I can't really comment on them. But there's a lot of different ways to set up inventories. Just if you do plan on going multiplayer, don't use singletons. That's kind of the only thing. Don't assume that you can just access some global player inventory. Because once you get a second player, all of that is not going to work. You want to make sure you're using object-oriented programming and have the player be the local player with the local inventory, etc. So when you have a server, it can manage multiple inventories. Big Kitty Games is not really named after a cat, but because I like cats, and it's kind of a play on words, and that kitty means, kitten. I guess it doesn't really have to, but I always kind of thought that it did in my head. So it's kind of like Big Kid Games, like still kids at heart, but what is this? It's a poker term? I've never heard of that. Especially kitten. So yeah, it usually means a young cat. But then I put big before it, so it's kind of like Big Kid Games. But I didn't want to say Big Kid Games. So I said Big Kitty Games because I like cats. Now we need buttons, and I think I already have buttons somewhere, is why I'm hesitating on this. Let me go look at the main UI actually. Under... Oh, did I not actually? That's dangerous. Need to turn the loading UI back on. And I'm actually going to turn it off for a second so I can look at the... Let's see. Overlay, I think it's settings UI, there we go. Somewhere in here there are toggles. I believe it's the video group. Yeah, where are those buttons? Oh, those are part of the, let's see, weather collision quality. Left. Okay, G arrow. I'm going to use those again, that's why I just wanted to look those up. So we want to close, we want to close video group. We want to close settings UI. And we want to open the loading UI back up, save that. I forgot to turn that back on when I messed with the crosshair. So now we've got the G arrow is what we want to add to our switch. G arrow. Sorry. Image UI image. probably only 20 by 20. And we want the G arrow sprite. And we want to rotate you 90 degrees backwards. Nope. That way. And we'll put you somewhere over here. Let's make your anchors up there. And we'll do minus what? Say minus 25. Yeah, I made my own inventory system. And it's basically just arrays. It's actually just lists even. It's just a list of inventory slots, which are kind of complicated, but basically they hold an item and an item amount. And when I start a player up, I set those up in order. So there's a maximum of 40 inventory slots. If you've got the strongest type of bag, so it just, when the game, or when a player starts, it runs setup on the inventory, and it spawns 40 inventory slots and assigns them a number. And this happens before the player data gets loaded, so these are already waiting to be used. And then if the data file has items in slot number 1 or whatever, it'll populate that. And then these are the equipment slots, and they've all got a enumerator, an enum. An enum is short for enumeration, isn't it? What is enum short for? An enumerated type, also called enumeration. Yeah. So these are just, to make sure that we can do checks on what slot is what, which we don't have to do with the inventory. And then there's also wardrobe slots. I think that's all. Inventory, equipment, wardrobe. These get used when you're interacting with facilities and some things. But yeah, I built pretty much everything myself, except for like weather and like terrain shaders and some things. Honestly, Unreal uses C++, which is a pain in the butt. And the Unity community is just 10,000 times bigger than Unreal. Unreal's a great engine, but the Unity community just blows Unreal community out of the water. And I started from just being a stupid moron that didn't know how to do anything, so I learned everything from the community. Multiplayer is handled in the same script primarily, not trying to move you, sorry. Using things like, for example, when the server loads the inventory server side, it's going to gather all the data and it's going to send that to the player that needs to know about it. So like player 2 doesn't need to know player 1's inventory. He's never going to be able to view that or access it. So I only send it to the players that need to know it, but you just send them their data, and then locally they populate their player based on what the server told them. And that's really how everything works in multiplayer. It's just that the server has all the data and makes all the calls, and then it updates. It tells the client to update its data based on what decisions and changes that the server has made. So the client never says, I've looted you know, steel ore or whatever. Steel's not an ore, but yeah. I've looted 10 steel bars. You know, they say, I want to loot from facility slot 6 on this treasure chest. And then the server says, okay, there's steel ingots there. It's not locked. You're allowed to take that. I'm going to move that into your inventory. Update your inventory slot 4 to now have these slots. And also update facility slot 6 in the treasure chest to not have those anymore. So, you have to make sure that the server is the one that's actually doing everything. And it's just telling the client to update its data. It's never actually letting the client do anything important itself. And I'm not a visual scripter. Unreal Blueprints does not make any sense to me. You can certainly get a lot done with that, but you can't make a whole game, an advanced game using only blueprints. And people try to use, I think it was like Azure or something. There was some game where the guy used almost totally blueprints, but people use that as an excuse to say, look, you can do it. But no, there was a lot of stuff he did that you can't do in blueprints, that he had to do outside of blueprints. It's a limited system, but it's great if you don't know how to program, because there is a lot you can do with it. And Unity has visual scripting too, if you need to go that route. But learning C# or C++ is much more powerful, much more empowering. So yeah, I got my left button. Is what we called it, right? Left image. Let's call those buttons now. Left button, right button. This guy's going to be 270, and probably it's something like minus 22. And what is the total height? Is 25, so 22.5. It's not a big deal, but what the heck? Get it nice and centered, and you don't need to be that far. Let's say minus 5-ish, so we can give our switch title a lot more room. Let's move him over to, yeah, that's a pretty good spot. About like that. That sounds good. Okay, and no, I got this wrong. We needed to make these buttons, didn't we? UI button. Okay, so now the thing with buttons is, I really don't want to make these buttons, to be honest. Let's try and not. Can I add an event trigger? Let's say we grab it's not aware of that. Let's see, event. What are we currently using? We're not currently using anything. I believe it is something like Unity engine dot event systems dot event trigger. There we go. Really? if the stream gets delayed, like the longer you watch it, like this has been going on 2 hours and 15 minutes now, and usually the longer you watch it, kind of slowly you'll lose frames and get behind the real time, is probably what you're seeing. Because you're seeing me respond to it as soon as it shows up, right? More or less. So you're probably just not seeing the stream in actual real time. And if you refresh, you might lose a couple minutes, or however far back you are, but then it'll catch up. Take it easy, Luna. Thank you for stopping by. For third and first person camera stuff, yeah, you want everything, well, you know, you really only need to manage the player client, or the camera client side. So the server doesn't really need to worry about that. And you can use singletons with that, if you want to, but there's kind of not, you know, and it might be better to, because you don't want to be spawning cameras that you're not using on other players. But there does come the problem. I have a network camera that's actually just a transform. It's not an actual camera. It's just an object that the player has authority over, and they update its position and rotation to match their local camera. That way the server knows what direction they're looking. If the server needs to make a raycast check to see like what they're attacking or what they're trying to interact with, for example. So I do have that, but you don't really need, in most normal cases, different systems to understand where some other player's camera is. And now can I do this? Left trigger, let's see now. Left trigger dot add, something like that. No. What do we need here? Oh, it knows all of those. Okay, so yeah, can we just do left trigger dot on click? No, on pointer click. I've done this in other places in runtime, but this gets a little weird. Event trigger. Add new event type. Let's check out good old Google. which of your questions did I not answer? If you missed one. It's interesting. Event trigger, we need to go ahead and do using event systems. Event trigger entry equals new TV equals pointer click. Let's do add listener data. What is that? Data. Pointer event data. On pointer down delegate. Can we do left function? Is that gonna work? No. On pointer down delegate. What does the example use? Public void. Yeah, it just needs to be public and it has to have pointer event data, right? So public void, what are we working on? Shadow types. Shadow types left with pointer data. I guess it just doesn't know that the action, I can't feed it in there because of that, huh? Can I leave that alone? It's not gonna let me do that, I don't think. Left function. Oh, yeah, can I do that? Cool, yes please. And I don't actually care about data. Can I ignore that? Maybe, no? Maybe not. Triggers, add entry, what is that? Trigger, event trigger.triggers.add entry, interesting. Left trigger dot triggers dot add entry. Cool. I think that will work. And we're not using you. We're gonna then go ahead and do right trigger, right button. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call it button. We'll say entry 2. And this will be our right function. Right trigger dot triggers add entry 2. That should do it. Left button type switch text. That'll be good. Okay, let's give this a try. So we're doing this shadow types left. We don't need that. Let's just do a debug log because we're getting close to lunch here, and I want to see that this works. Shadow left. And I'm not sure this even needs to be public, but it probably does. We'll leave it as public. Shadow types right, shadow right. And we're going to spawn the row. So we want to do add switch. Video settings scroll rect, referencing the video settings row count. The title is going to be shadow types. What do they call that in Unity? I forget. Button types. Did I set those up? I don't think so. Shadow distance. Shadow type left. Shadow type right. And the action is going to be shadow type, what is it? Shadow types left, button type, shadow type right, shadow types right, and that is it. And we want, that will add it to our switches array. So now I'm going to set button types dot left dot text to equal, we'll just say hard for now. Hard and soft, I think is what it's defaulting to right now. And that should work. We just need to make sure we add this guy, settings UI prefab. Let's let it compile. This is all set up. Need to make sure we add an event trigger to both of them. Raycastable target. Good. We need an event trigger here as well. Save, close, open up the main UI, head to settings UI, and add the switch prefab, close it up, load it up. I think this should work. Did I miss any of your questions, Shark? Or did you head out to get to work? So now we've got a video switch, and that is too far to the right, it looks like. But shadows left is being called properly. Cool, so that will let us spawn multiple switches there without having to input them all manually. I do want to take a look at that button there. Looks like it spawned that over there under the what's it called? Scroll bar there. Overlay, settings, video group, content, settings, row, switch, right button is way over there. Needs to be more at like what, 25, maybe 35, maybe 30, probably 35. Okay. So we can do that. Just open it up. Wrong one. Right button needs to be at -35, which means our switch tiles gotta get a little smaller, unfortunately. 57.5 and something like this. Now, all we need to do is add in our logic for these guys, and we don't want them down here. We want them to be over here, for example. And let's see. We're going to want to switch. Well, we're going to need to set up game settings. I believe that's what this is. Shadow quality 012. It's either off. Well, we've got shadows separate from that. So let's go ahead and just make this a bool, because it's only hard and soft or hard only, right? We don't actually need to have yeah, hard only, hard and soft. So we can set that up as a bool. Shadow, we'll call it types for now. We'll default it as true. We'll head to our settings data holder where we've got shadows toggle. It's a hard toggle for on or off, beneath which we will add shadow types equals true. And wherever we change shadows, we're going to want to also change shadow types equals shadow types. Likewise, when we load, oops, shadow types equals shadow types. And basically, we're just going to say left. There's only two options, so game settings dot shadow types equals false. And then we're going to do quality settings dot shadow what? Shadow, that's just, nope, shadow quality. Shadows equals shadow quality dot. Okay, so we're going to want to, now we want to get rid of this, don't we? Shadow add toggle for shadow. Nope, it's already its own thing somewhere. No, where is shadow? Shadows, there it is. So yeah, we're gonna not do this one anymore. It is shadow. I think quality actually was better. And it is going to be an int. Sorry about that. We'll leave it as 2 by default. And go back to our settings holder. We're not going to use shadows anymore. We're going to use shadow quality. And it's going to be an int. Could be a byte, but whatever. 2 by default. I'm not using you anymore. Shadow quality, shadow quality. Not using you anymore. Shadow quality equals shadow quality. Okay, good. Now, we're not using that. Shadow left, shadow right. So now we can't just go straight left. We need to do if game settings dot shadow quality is equal to 3, actually equal to 2, then we will do shadow quality equals 1, and here we will do hard only. And then we'll do else if it equals 1, and then we can just do else. No, actually we only need 2 options, don't we? So this will be our else. So if it's 2, we'll move it down 1. Otherwise, we will move it down to 0, which is disabled. Going to the right, we will say if it's 0, we'll set it to 1 and set it to hard only. Otherwise, we will set it to 2, and that will be hard and soft, which is all. And then we want to update the text. Switches, button types, left, shadow type left dot text equals let's go ahead and manually do that. Text equals hard only. Here we'll say disabled. Here again we'll say hard only. Here we will say hard and soft. And what was the title that we fit in there? Shadow types. Shadow, let's call it shadow quality. And we don't want to assume. We want to do an if, else. When we set that one up, hi kitty, what's the matter? And we did a capital S for you. This one's going to be only, and this is going to be disabled. And let's just give that a quick try. And then I'm going to have to, I have to go to lunch. It's terrible, terrible thing. I'm actually pretty hungry though. Trying to eat less, not because I'm fat, because I'm having stomach problems. My lower esophageal sphincter is damaged from, I think it's mostly from eating too late and laying down. So let's go see where we can see those shadows again. Looks like they're turned off right now. So we've got our switch that we spawned. Oh, hard and soft. Here we go, hard and soft, hard and disabled. So that is working properly. I'm going to set mine to hard. I'm going to set my shadow distance to 50. And I'm going to close that, and that should save it when I close it. So I'm just going to restart and make sure that those settings saved properly, and they should be loading properly. No, I'm not actually. Yeah, when I call shadow distance here, I'm actually setting it after I set the text, but the settings should be correct. Let's see, 50 and hard only looks good. I do think that I want to set up render quality. What is it? Was it render quality? Or was it quality settings dot shadows? I think I do want to set that up in here as well, because we're not doing that in this guy. We're not doing it anywhere, I don't think. Equals shadow quality dot all. In this case, yeah, I don't really like having that right here though, honestly. Let's do that in the settings data holder. Shadow quality and if game settings dot shadow quality is equal to 2. I'm going to do this inline. Quality settings dot shadows equals shadow quality dot all. And we've got a 2 and a 3, or a 1 and a 0. This is hard, and this is disabled. So that'll do that when it actually loads. This is the load method. Yeah. And then this will change the text to match that, and then this will allow us to change it in runtime. And we will now, since we've got that set up to all be automatic, we'll just add in resolution, cascades, and texture quality. But I'm going to go get some lunch, and I will be back in an hour. Sorry if I missed any of your questions there, Shark. Or you lost them in the rebuffer. I know it does do that. The longer you watch, it seems to fall further and further behind real time, which is a bummer. But yeah, I'll be back in